Hello, 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 my data loving friends. Data Guys here with another video to help you enhance your Excel skills. My goal is to empower professionals and beginners by providing practical tips and tricks that can make your data analysis easier and fun. To set the foundation right, I'm starting with Excel tutorials for beginners, where I guide you step by step from very basic functions and formulas and progressing to intermediate and advanced levels in the future, simplifying complex concepts to enhance your data analysis skills, and moving on to other tools later on, such as SQL and data visualization, dashboards, etc. By the way, I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments if there's a specific topics or functions that you're interested in learning about, and I'll focus on that in the future videos. There is no you know script that I have to go by or any particular curriculum, right? Whichever is more important to you. So if there is an Excel function, primarily because we're right now focusing on Excel, but any function or formula or any scenario that you may have, leave it in the comment section that you would like to learn more about, and let's see if we can tackle that together. All right, moving along. So on today's what we're going to talk about is another very powerful function, and it's called the if function. So today we're going to try to master the if function in Excel. Now you'll be asking, what is an if function? Well, the if function allows you to make logical comparisons between a value and what you expect. Just like, we all say, hey, if that, if this, right? So it tests a condition and returns one value if the condition is true and another value if it's false. In simpler terms, let's say, put it this way. If this condition is met, then do this, otherwise do something else. So, if I bring up now Excel sheet, I put just a slide, similar thing what I just said. So what is their function? If it allows you to make logical comparisons. And the syntax is very simple also, if you're thinking, putting what we just said in plain English, then in a formula, if, the syntax is if, then what is the logical test, comma, with the value, and then basically you're putting it pass or fail, yes and no, etc. Something similar for things like these. So let's consider a basic example, right? I have put together certain things here. So let's say you have this right here. An example, you have a set of students, and you have their names, different subjects, maths, English, science, their scores, right? And then what we can do, we can calculate an average. We can also calculate if they pass or fail, if they meet certain criteria. And then similarly with that criteria, we can also assign them a grade. And then if we can see if they consider honor student or not, right? So let's start with the very first one, like pass and fail. But before we even do that, let's see if we can do an average. So let's start with first thing to see if, what is their average score, right? So we can just basically type in every time in Excel. I'm sure you all know this, but again, we're taking the approach here like somebody, a very beginner who's watching it. They may have no idea how to even start with the formula. Like most of you maybe are saying, oh, okay, we know it. You have to hit the equal sign, but maybe there's somebody brand new. And that's the again goal here is that we help anyone who maybe just started from scratch. They have no idea how do I even do this. So that's why we're going to start from this approach. So in order to type in any formula in Excel, you start with an equal sign. So equals. Now there's billions, I would say, of functions, and it's just amazing how Excel is. So now we're trying to find an average. So you're going to start typing average. So let me AVER, and here it comes, pops up. You click on it, and it's open up average with a bracket, right? So what are we trying to find the average between? We're trying to find average between these three subjects, maths, English, and science. So what you can do is you're going to click on this cell. So basically your range is from this cell to this cell. So you can drag it. So you see how it puts in from C2 to E2. C2, this cell, to E2, which is average between maths, English, and science. And then you can close the bracket here and hit enter. And here's your average. So if you want, you can, if you highlight these three, and you can see on the way bottom right here, it says average 85. So that's your average. Now, you can do the similar thing, just double click it, and it will do the same thing for the rest of these cells. Right here you have this, right? So that's how we get the average. Now, we want to determine pass and fail. This is where our if function comes in. Like if they fall into certain the grading, then they pass or fail. So how do you do that? Let's say so the minimum to pass is, let's say, 60. Your score is 60. So how are you going to do it to determine if somebody passed or failed? We're going to say, so basically this is the average score right here, right? So you have to be minimum a grade of 60 to be able to pass, otherwise you'll fail. So what we're going to say here is equals, again, we're starting the formula, if. So we're going to type if, and you can see the if function came in, you double click it, and you can see the logical test value, first value if it's true or false, and then second. So if, what are we trying to say here? Is this one right here, this value is greater than or equal to, so we're speaking through it and we're typing the same thing in that formula way. If this value, which is in cell F2, is greater than or equal to 60, then means comma. So what's the first condition? If it meets this condition, we will say pass. Close it with the quotes. Else, or what's the other condition? If that don't happen, then what? Then otherwise they are fail. And then close quotes and close parentheses and hit enter. So you can see it says pass because it is greater than 60. So that's why it's passed. Now let's say, just for the heck of it, just to make sure the point, what if the average is below 85? Then it should be fail because that's the condition. So let's see, what if I do this 60 and do this 55 and do this 30? So look at this, my average went below 60, it's 48.33, and that's why you can see it's changed to fail. So that's a quick, what is a simple way of putting together the if formula here. Now let's build upon that and see what if we assign the letter grades right here, right? So we can build upon the same with multiple if functions in it. So basically, if it's somebody, let's say we say if somebody is greater than 90, then they're gonna be grade A, and so on. So let's build upon that. So let's say equals, again, if, open parentheses, same here, this is the grade or average score, this is greater than or equals to 90, right? Then we're gonna give them grade A, right? Then comma, if, same thing right here, you could click on it again, of course my bracket closed, that's why. If you open this parentheses, type in again, you can type in or click on that again, either way, that is greater than or equals to 80, then we're gonna give them grade B, right? Or again, if, so we are putting in multiple if conditions basically. If it's this much, then this, if this, right? So now if same score, okay, let's try again. If, comma, right here, again the same cell is greater than or equals to, so we were 90, 70, 80, now we're gonna go to 70. If this is greater than or equals to 70, then we're going to give them C grade, right? And if, open parentheses, F2 again, which is this cell right here, 85, is greater than or equals to, oops, 60, then we're going to give them grade D. And after that, you're not passing at all, so we're just going to give them F. So this, basically we're saying else, just give them F. Now you have to keep in mind how many open parentheses you have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically that's how many closing parentheses you need to now to complete your statement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I hit enter, you can see our formula worked, because why? This is 85. So what we're saying here is, if it's greater than or equals to 90, then it's going to be grade A. If it's between greater than or equals to 80, which in this case 85, so it's grade B. And if it was, you know, anything between 70 and 80, then it would have been C, etc. So see how it's making, we can build upon these if statements. So let's do another one. Now we have, so far we had one condition, right? If it happened this, if it happened this, then do this. But what if we have a multiple condition? It have to meet two certain conditions. So what if we're trying to say is, we'll say if, as long as the, you know, the, if to determine if a student is an honor student or not, then we will use to see if they have met these conditions in all of these. Basically, are they all, let's say you have to be an honor student. If you get at least 85 in all three, then you're an honor student. Otherwise, you're not. That's what basically we're trying to say here. So let's do our formula here. So we'll be using if, and there's another condition called and. If and. So we'll say equals again, starting our formula, if, open parentheses, and, open parentheses again. What are we saying is, so we start from here. If and they got this C2 is greater than 85, so they have to have a grade more than 85 in all three subjects. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Then they'll consider an honor student, otherwise they're not. So we got this, comma, the next one, which is this, greater than 85, comma, science scores also have to be greater than 85, right? And then we say close parentheses, comma, and so yes, otherwise means comma, no. So see how it is, if, and then we got and, because it have to match all these three. If in maths a student gets 85, grade higher than 85, in English the student scores higher than 85, in science also high, you know, scores greater than 85, then they'll consider an honor student, otherwise no. So if you hit enter, it says no. Why? Because this one they don't have 85. So let's see if I put in 90 here. Let's see what happens. Because I have to greater than 85. So if I put 90 here, there you go. So 90, 90, 92, now they consider honor student because they met the condition of having greater than 85, scoring 85 and higher, I mean not and higher than 85 in all three scores, and that's why you have this. So I hope this is making sense, that you know how we can apply the if formulas. And let's have one more examples. I do not want to make this video too long, but I hope it's making sense how powerful if function can be. And again, this will come with practice, and it may sound a little too overwhelming, especially when you have that many commas and brackets and etc. But that's why approach I'm trying to take is to understand, and you talk through it. When you do it, it doesn't come naturally, but once you start doing it, it will become natural. So basically you're talking in English what you're trying to say, right? So like in this case, average, this is just simply an average. But here, if is this particular cell, you're pointing to the cell, is greater than your whatever, the in this case 60, then they will pass. Or of course in here we use this cell because this was the average of these three. So the condition to pass is this average score have to be greater than 60. That's why it met, right? And then when we grading, we say they have to have certain score in order to meet their, which grade they fall into. And here we have multiple if and, they have to meet all these conditions before they can do this. And now, from there's also a condition called if and or. So that's another one. But again, the video is getting too long, but I hope this will help you. Please leave your comments and let me know if you feel this was helpful, if you think this time is helpful, or would you like me to create longer videos with more examples. Those are things. Like I said, I'm not a pro. I myself is just trying to share any knowledge that I have and I know and feel like that can be helpful. So it will be very helpful for me also to get your feedback, to have the understanding if any of my audience, who especially people who are brand new to things like these, where these things can be overwhelming. So we do not, want to have too much knowledge that become overburdened. But at the same time, sometimes less knowledge is not helpful either. So let me know. I feel like one hand there's a lot more to cover. Like we have the if and then we have or, and we can, even though I had certain more examples here, but feel like it's just gonna become too long video. So I'll stop here, but I would definitely and I would appreciate if you give me some feedback and provide me your comments that do you think this much length of video with the amount we're covering to make understand what a function is doing it, or you think we need to create longer videos, etc. Looking forward to it. So thank you again till the next video. I appreciate you all watching and looking forward to some engagement on this channel. Please like, subscribe, and I'm sure there are many people who can learn these Microsoft Excel. So please feel free to share this with your friends and family. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. Bye.